Member of Parliament here in Burlington. It is so nice to be here with everyone. We were just talking about how fun it is to be in a room full of people with energy. So this is really exciting. I'm really delighted that you could all join for what I think is an exciting announcement for our community today. I just want to begin by acknowledging that we are gathering on the territory which is mutually covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belts Covenant, an agreement between the Iroquois Confederacy, the Ojibwe, and other allied nations to peaceably share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. And I would also like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is part of the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. So I also just want to start and say it's a pleasure to be here with Colleen, with Lita, Catherine, and Sue today for this important milestone for Burlington. I would also really like to thank the Burlington Public Library for welcoming us into your space today and allowing us to host this event here. It's an opportunity today to, I think, recognize the strength and the resourcefulness of our communities, especially since the pandemic began. COVID-19 has reshaped so many aspects of our lives, including how we move around our communities, how we gather, how we engage in leisure activities, and how we access services. And I know that we're all hoping to get back to normal, and that's certainly something that we're all looking forward to. But I think we all recognize that there's a bit of a new normal now. And it's important for us as communities, as organizations, as leaders, as people to be able to adapt and to be resilient. And certainly if there's one thing that COVID-19 has taught us, it is how to adapt and how to be resilient. And I would just like to take a moment to acknowledge and really thank the leadership here in our community in all aspects, but particularly those that are community serving organizations who have just adapted so many times over the course of the past 2 years. And regardless of what aspect you are in society, we've demanded a lot of people, and people have really had to change so many aspects of their lives, and I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that. And of course the past 2 years have been difficult, and we are now entering into a new phase of COVID-19. I won't say the pandemic is over because it certainly is not, but we are entering into a new phase and figuring out what that looks like as we move forward. And certainly the projects that we are here to announce today are going to help with that. And so I'm very excited to be here. As a government, we have consistently focused on the health and safety of Canadians as we work to recover from the pandemic. That's why we called for a second time on interested, non-government, not-for-profit organizations to apply for funding under the $31 million Canada Healthy Communities Initiative, to identify and fund solutions that can be put into place quickly to improve the lives of residents both during and following the pandemic. As a result of this second call for applications, the Government of Canada will be investing $16.9 million in support of over 350 projects across the country, including over $19,000 in the Burlington Public Library's Connection for All project and over $14,000 in Burlington Green's Clean Up, Green Up projects. These projects are a great example of how innovative local solutions can improve the lives of Canadians in the near term, while strengthening communities and ensuring they can be resilient through the coming months and well beyond. They are also among the more than 650 projects from coast to coast to coast to receive support from the Canada Healthy Communities Initiative through the first and second calls for applications combined. Every dollar we invest in our communities is helping create jobs and economic stability and make communities more resilient where everyone has a fair shot to succeed. I look forward to hearing from those of you championing these projects and learning more about how it creates opportunities and meets the needs of Burlington today and into the future. And I would now like to invite up a very dear friend, someone who has been instrumental in helping the community build that resilience and support that resilience, and that is Colleen Mulholland from the Burlington Community Foundation.
Well, thank you, Mr. Gould. So weird not to have Zoom in my face. It feels very awkward. I haven't been at a podium for probably 3 years. As one of 191 community foundations across Canada, Burlington Foundation is proud to partner with the Government of Canada's Canada Healthy Communities Initiative. Public spaces are an essential part of the fabric of a community. They are the glue that binds us, and often the first contact community members have with their city. Public spaces are a form of democracy. They welcome everyone equally to enjoy the freedom of movement and expression. It's a pleasure to be here with you today to celebrate the importance of public spaces and to applaud these two very deserving projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. And for those of you that don't know, the Government of Canada has partnered with community foundations across Canada to help support these local initiatives. And that's why I said Colleen has been instrumental in supporting our community, because it's through those kinds of partnerships that we can ensure that we're getting these very much needed resources on the ground in community. And so I just want to say thank you to you, Colleen, to the Burlington Community Foundation for all the work, the pivoting, the changes that you've done to support really well-deserving organizations that are supporting our community. So thank you for that. I would now like to invite Catherine Benzie, the chairperson of the board for the Burlington Public Library, up to say a few words.
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister Gould, and to all our friends joining us in person and virtually today. I'm sure I speak for all the library folk here when I say how delighted we are to welcome you to our central branch today for this very special announcement. Just before the pandemic hit in 2020, the library board started to develop the strategic plan that would set the course for Burlington Public Library over the next 4 years. As the global pandemic reached us here at home, it became crystal clear that the library had to step up our efforts and build on our decades-long commitment to close the digital divide. COVID-19 amplified the need for us to make digital inclusion a priority. We know that access to technology and the internet has become an essential part of the services that libraries should provide. We are already hubs for free internet, with people coming into the library every day to use our computers to look for jobs, check email, fill out government forms, and find help in our community. And we've been lending high-demand devices like iPads, Chromebooks, and MacBooks for years. But during this global health crisis, our reliance on internet access and digital technology has only intensified. Internet access and digital technology are now necessary tools for life. But social and economic barriers to access and the burden of too little supply for too much demand continue to put technology out of reach for too many people in our community. Those who are homebound or socially isolated from others, and those who cannot afford internet access or the latest technology, and all those in multi-person households who struggle to find a way to work and attend class from home. Without fair and equitable digital access and the right technology, it can be harder to cope with the ongoing challenges that arrived with this pandemic and will not be soon. But we see a promising path ahead, and here at Burlington Public Library, we are excited by new possibilities as we collectively work to recover and move on. We are not the same community we were 2 years ago. The pandemic has caused us all to reshape our definition of normal, and every community-based service provider, like the library, has a renewed opportunity to redesign how to best meet the new, emerging, and growing needs of everyone who lives here. Your library accepts this challenge. In just a moment, I'll turn the podium over to our Chief Executive Officer, Lita Berry, to tell you how we plan to do this. But first, I want to recognize our Member of Parliament for Burlington, the Honorable Karina Gould. As our elected representative in Ottawa, you have been a strong champion of public libraries in Canada and the greatest cheerleader of library services locally. We are deeply grateful for your unwavering and enthusiastic support of Burlington Public Library and the community we serve. On behalf of the Library Board and staff, I want to thank you for your generous funding provided to Burlington Public Library by the Canada Healthy Communities Initiative. These funds totaling over $19,000, paved the way for more residents to access and use technology where and when they need it most. Further, this grant advances Burlington Public Library's pledge to reimagine our spaces in innovative ways to better support those whose post-pandemic needs are evolving. With our most heartfelt sincerity, we thank you. Now our CEO, Lita Berry, has a few words to say about our exciting news.
Thank you very much, Catherine. First, I just wanted to echo Catherine's welcome to Minister Gould and everyone present today. It's a big day for our community and for the library, and we're so glad that you're sharing it with us. I also wanted to add the warmest congratulations to fellow grant recipients and our good friend and community partner, Burlington Green. Canada Healthy Communities Initiative provides an exceptional hand up for Burlington to help stimulate and aid our community's pandemic recovery. This grant provides a way for the library to deliver practical solutions that will help improve digital equity and make it easier to cope with everyday challenges as we find our balance in a post-pandemic world. For all of us at BPL, digital inclusion means that people without computer technology can have it. It means that people with barriers to internet access can get it. And it means that people who struggle to have a quiet and private space to Zoom, work, or study can find it. This is our vision for Burlington's post-pandemic recovery, and now with the generosity of the Canada Healthy Communities Initiative, we can bring our Connection for All project to life. And now, time for a little bit of quick show and tell. Available to borrow starting next week on Wednesday, March 30th. My big fan moment. We will have a series of Chromebooks preloaded with various apps, and we'll also have 10 Wi-Fi hotspots. These hotspots will deliver instant and unlimited internet access to use with a computer or a compatible device. Burlington residents just need a free library card to borrow these items, which of course we are only too happy to provide. But that's not everything. Despite many hands keeping fingers crossed and much anticipated state-of-the-art privacy booths are still in transit. My second banner. They're still in transit, but they're coming. We're going to have 2 pods that'll actually be located just around the corner from our makerspace. Each pod is Wi-Fi friendly with a built-in desk, power outlet, and energy-efficient ventilation fans and lights. We expect that these are going to be very popular destinations for those who are seeking a space that supports their evolving workspace needs. Our Connection for All project is the result of a team of hardworking and enthusiastic colleagues who bring their very best selves to work every day. No pandemic can dampen their dedication to deliver the best library services possible. Above all, for their outstanding work shaping and leading this project, I would like to thank all those involved in the project team, which has been led by Heather Westaber, our Programming and Partnerships Manager, and Victoria Cullis, our IT Manager. Nicely done to the entire team. Once again, we are deeply honored by the generosity of the Canada Healthy Communities Initiative and for your belief in the vital importance of Connection for All, building today for a better and more equitable tomorrow. Thank you.
Well, first of all, Catherine and Lita, thank you for your leadership, particularly over the past 2 years, but even before that. I think I speak on behalf of everyone here in sharing our excitement for what this will do for connecting the community and providing that space. It's easy to be a champion for libraries when you have such an amazing library system here in Burlington, and I know for so many residents what a lifeline the Burlington Public Library is. And so thank you to both of you for your leadership and your teams for all that you do to keep the community connected. Many of you probably saw throughout the pandemic, they still provided virtual programming and really tried to maintain that connection with the community. And so now that we're back in person and able to come, I know I brought my son to the library a couple weeks ago. He was like really excited. And so it was really fun to be there. But this again is just another reason to show why these kinds of initiatives are important and what they mean for people in our community. We know that the digital divide real, and we know that not everybody has access to the internet or sufficient broadband at home to do what they need to do. So thank you to both of you for spearheading this initiative, and congratulations on your success. I would now like to invite Sue up from Burlington Green to talk a little bit about their initiative.
Thank you. I brought my show and tell with me. We'll just hold that. Ready? Good afternoon. It's with great pleasure that I bring greetings from our entire team at Burlington Green. Our executive director and co-founder, Amy Schnur, is really disappointed that she couldn't be here with us today to be part of this exciting announcement and to express her gratitude directly. Unfortunately, she's been exposed to COVID, so of course she wanted to be careful and be sure not to put anyone else at risk today. I am pleased to be joined by our board member, Sharon Clark, and our managing and events coordinator, Ali Calais. Burlington Green is truly honored to receive funding through the Canada Healthy Communities Initiative for our impactful project, Clean Up, Green Up, Expanding Vulnerable Community Connections. With this support, we're thrilled to be able to expand the reach of our programming and engagement so that together we can support more of the community in the collective effort to create a healthier environment and community here in Burlington. We just heard about how important technology and internet connection has become during COVID. And we also found during the past 2 years that we've witnessed how much more residents and all sectors in Burlington have become increasingly reliant on urban nature to support our mental, physical, and social well-being amid the isolation and stress increased by COVID. We know there was isolation and stress here already before, but we've seen increases for many of us, especially those who are most vulnerable in our community. So the support from the Canada Healthy Communities Initiative for our Clean Up, Green Up, Expanding Vulnerable Community Connections will result in immediate and direct positive impact by providing free and accessible workshops and resources to help more of our neighbors actively participate in rewarding experiences to care for local nature and our one and only Mother Earth. Our project partners are the Burlington Food Bank and Art House, which provides free arts programs for vulnerable children and youth aged 7 to 17 living in the region of Halton who have limited access to extracurricular activities of this type. We're very pleased that CHCI funding allows us to enrich Art House's programming through the provision of fun, educational, and interactive eco-craft workshops. And we're delivering to our hardworking friends at Burlington Food Bank 500 community cleanup supply bundles and eco-craft activity kits to distribute to their clients. I'm going to show you what they're going to get. So this is a cleanup supply bundle. So this is a garbage bag, recycling bag, some rubber gloves, and some safety tips and information on how to connect with the Burlington Green website once you get your internet connection, so that everyone in the community can participate in this citywide effort. So these will be available to children receiving services through the Art House program that they can share with their families, and also families at the food bank. Another kit we have is a vegetable seed starter kit. So this includes everything you need to plant a few easy-to-grow veggies in the ground or in containers, so on your deck or your little back patio. There's potting soil, vegetable seeds, popsicle sticks, and instructions on planting in used containers you have at home. So you can use yogurt cups or Tim Hortons cups, or you can even make your own little do-it-yourself pot out of used newspaper. There's instructions on how to transplant them and care for your veggie plants, and you might get a mix of cherry tomatoes, beans, snap peas, or cucumbers. And finally, we have our native plant seed balls kits. You can make seed bombs or seed balls. with this, and this has clay, soil, seeds from wildflowers like black-eyed Susan, purple coneflower, and wild bergamot, together with instructions on how to make the balls, where to throw, and where to throw or plant them. Throwing is popular. So, as I said, children and youth at Art House, as well as 500 local families relying on the food bank, will receive these kits like these, so that they can have fun, learn together, and enjoy the beautiful flowers and nutritious food that they can grow. We know that many of the families accessing these services struggle with ways that they can give back to the community. So we're really honored to provide these kits and the litter cleanup bundles for an inclusive opportunity for them to do that. Joining scores of Burlington residents and businesses that have participated in our community cleanup green-up over the past 11 years. We're excited to share that the community cleanup green-up is up and underway now. It's inclusive, it's rewarding, it's a citywide opportunity. We've invited all sectors to participate. People retrieve litter from local nature, schoolyards, parks, and neighborhoods, while helping to grow Burlington's tree canopy through an annual community tree planting event. To date, just shy of 111,000 people have participated in community cleanup green-up over those 11 years. So when our award-winning grassroots organization was established just over 14 years ago, we adopted the motto, "Together we make a difference." And it's much more than a tagline for us. Every day we live and breathe its intent. And we see today that this idea of making a difference together is demonstrated. We're so grateful to the Healthy Communities Initiative, to the Burlington Foundation as a partner for this much needed injection of funds, all of which will be put back into benefiting the community, where even more of us can make a positive difference for a brighter today and tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sue, for sharing that project with us, and congratulations to Burlington Green for receiving this funding. Although I'm sure Amy would have loved to be here, I think you did her justice, and of course we're all wishing her and her family a speedy recovery from COVID. I love this project. I think it's so wonderful, it's so meaningful, and it's a great way to tie in the benefits of nature with our own wellness and our own well-being. We certainly saw throughout the pandemic how important, as you mentioned, urban nature was to all of us, and how important it was for our mental health to stay connected. And now having an opportunity to give back, I think is really wonderful. I would love to see some of those kids throwing those seed bombs. I can imagine that's quite a popular activity, but it's also great that you're providing ways to do your own home gardening. I'm sure many of us took up gardening during the pandemic. I certainly did, but it's a great to do, but it's also really important for food security and for people to be able to have that autonomy when it comes to growing some of your own food, not all of it, but some of it. So big congratulations to Burlington Green. I just want to conclude with a couple of remarks. You know, both of these projects that have received funding today are ones that are about connecting community. They're about building community, and they're about creating spaces, whether they're physical, digital, or within one's homes, that are inclusive, that are safe, that advance the goals of connecting people. And I think it's emblematic of what the pandemic has kind of taught us in a way. You know, I'm not going to say there's much good that came from the pandemic, but I think the overarching story of the COVID-19 pandemic in Canada has been one of community coming together. It's been one of kindness. It's been one of people looking out for each other, doing what they can with the tools that they have at their disposal, whether that be distancing, masking, getting vaccinated, to protect themselves, but importantly to protect community and those that are vulnerable in our community. And I have been continuously impressed and blown away by the response in our community here in Burlington to take care of those who are vulnerable. And it's been one of those things that, of course, the past 2 years have been incredibly difficult for all of us, for some more than others. But it's also been wonderful to see people coming together, stepping up, and helping each other out. And you know, these two projects are a continuation of that, and that extension of kindness, of connection, and caring for each other. So thank you to both Burlington Green and the Burlington Public Library for all that you do in our community and keeping us together, resilient, and ready for whatever may come over the horizon. And of course, thank you to the Burlington Community Foundation as well. So with that, that concludes the announcement. And of course, there's actually quite a bit of media here, which is wonderful. I and others are available for questions on this specific announcement, and I know that I'll be talking to the Post about something else slightly later, so let's do that later. But if there are any questions, maybe I'll invite Sue, Colleen, Lita, and Catherine up here. At the very least, we can take a picture with the five of us. And if there's any questions, we are available for those. And we'll stand in front of the, yeah. Yeah, there we go. I'm just working.